Hi and welcome to the third tutorial already on using uiZ. I've reversed to the code from the first tutorial. You can forget about parenting for right now because this tutorial we are going to focus on these variables. Now right now pos in frame x and y is set to px. Px stands for nothing more than pixels, and this variable, the value of this variable here, will actually change the way that this variable reacts. So right now this is set to 10, and 10 doesn't really mean anything without this values. Because this is set to pixels, px, this means that this is also 10 pixels, not something else, not 10 bananas, not 10 centimeters or something. It is 10 pixels, and we can actually see that here. 10 pixels, and this space is also 10 pixels. I'm now going to run over a few different modes of placing objects in the room, and we're first going to start off by looking at DP. So what does DP mean? Well, conventionally you would use pixel values. So for example, we would have a button of 300 by 50 pixels, and this is a button you can very easily press with your mouse. See, these buttons are actually all very small, but with the mouse it's extremely easy to press them. On your phone, however, 300 by 50 pixel is very tiny, and you just can't press it because it's so small. This is also because your computer has a certain amount of pixels, and your phone most likely has the exact same amount of pixels. So this is a full HD screen, and this is most likely also a full HD screen, meaning that the pixels on your phone are way denser packed. So even though that this screen is maybe like 10 times as small as your computer screen, it will have the exact same amount of pixels in it. And the meaning that a button of 300 by 50 is about this big on a computer screen, and then it's extremely small on a phone. So to fix this problem, we can use something called dp values, which are density pixel values. Let's just imagine though a computer screen and your phone screen. So here there are 10 pixels per inch. So this is a square of 1 inch by 1 inch. There are 10 pixels in its width and in its height. This is also 1 inch, and this might be on your phone. Even though that this is the same size, there are just way more pixels in there. By using density pixel values, we can create a button that is both easily pressable using the mouse on your computer, and also easily pressable by using your finger on your phone. So for this next type of variable, I'm going to talk about factors. What a factor means is it will take your screen size. So this is about, I believe, 1000 pixels by about 750. So this is 1750, and a factor is practically a multiplication of that number. So this would be right here would be 0 FC, and all the way down here this would mean 1 FC, and this in the middle would then mean 0.5 FC. So what's practically happening is the screen size is taken and it's multiplied by the amount you have here. So let's for examples change this to FC, and FC stands for factor, and then we'll change this to 0.7. And now here we can see that it's now placed around here. This is actually the screen height times 0.7 will give you the point of the object. Let's just quickly take a calculator. 768.0.7. This distance is 538 pixels. When I was just talking about factors, I was talking about screen size. So this was 0.7 times 750, and that returned the position of this object. However, it would be more correct to say parent instead of screen. Right now I created two objects, but I haven't set a parent for any of them. If I now set the parent using uiZ set parent, we want to put the square inside of the gradient. So once we've done that and remembered what our example used to look like, we can see that the square is now placed within our gradient square. It is now at exactly 0.7 FC, meaning that it is placed at the height of the gradients times 0.7. So I'd now like to talk about some special constants to use here for these variables. Here's a list of them. These top two can only be used for pass in frame X, and these two can only be used in the Y. These two, however, can be used for both of these. And I'm just going to fill these in, and you'll see what happens if I fill them in a moment. So I'm just going to snap right and say uiZ center. So what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that our object is on the right, and it is also going to make sure that it's in the center of the right. So if you imagine, if you take the height of the window, then it will be exactly in the middle of there. And it will look like this, exactly as we anticipated. And if we resize the window, the object is still on the right side and still in the center. That's how easy it is. We can also say uiZ fill. Let's just do that here, fill. This will give us just a big line. It will just fill out this entire space. Also note that these variables are not needed anymore because these are kind of predefined constants. There's just no need for this anymore, so we can remove those lines. Now, if you would now add a parent to our square object, we would get something that looks like this. Here we can see that we have a gradient square, which is this, and inside of that gradient square is another square, and that square fills it in the X. So we can see that here. It's filling the gradient object, and for the Y it's centering. It's in the center, so you would take the height of the object and we would place it in the center. That's what this means.